There is a wall inside you. You can't see it, but you feel it. Every time you get close to greatness, close to changing, close to breaking free, you feel it push back. That wall is not made of stone. It's made of stories. Stories you've told yourself for years. Stories others planted in your mind before you knew how to question them. Stories about what you can and cannot do. Stories about who you are, where you belong, and how far you're allowed to go. These stories have names: fear, doubt, guilt, comparison, procrastination, pride, and limitation. They masquerade as truth, but they are lies. Beautifully rehearsed, carefully repeated, deeply believed lies. And they are the chains that keep you poor, not just in your pocket, but in your potential. If you want to get rich, not just financially, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, then you must declare war on those lies. You must confront those voices in your head that whisper, not you. Every time you reach higher, you must break the pattern, break the comfort, break the loop that says, this is just who I am. Because who you are is not a fixed identity. It is a choice, made and remade every single day by your thoughts, your actions, and your beliefs. And the greatest barrier to success is not the market, not your background, not your circumstances. It is the belief that you are not the one, but you are. You always have been. The world just trained you to forget. Rule 1. Rewrite your definition of success. Success is not luxury, it's alignment. It's when your actions, your values, and your vision are all pulling in the same direction. Most people are confused not because they lack ambition, but because they are trying to chase 10 different goals without a single core value holding it together. They want wealth, but they also want comfort. They want peace, but they refuse discipline. They want to grow, but they resist change. That's internal conflict. And internal conflict produces external chaos. You cannot succeed outwardly if you are divided inwardly. So get clear, get ruthless. Decide what matters and remove what doesn't. Because clarity is power. And once you have it, your life becomes a weapon. Rule 2. Take complete, unfiltered ownership of your mind. Most people walk around with a mind that isn't theirs. It's filled with thoughts they didn't choose, assumptions they inherited, opinions they borrowed, beliefs they never questioned. But your mind is not a public park. It's a temple. Guard it, audit it, clean it. Fill it only with what strengthens you. Every time you say, I can't. Every time you say, that's just the way I am. Every time you allow a limitation to become a lifestyle, you are surrendering your power to a lie. But when you take control of your thoughts, when you shape your mind like a sculptor, deliberate, patient, precise, your world begins to bend in response. Because reality follows thought. Every time. Rule 3. Master the art of emotional detachment. Most people don't fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because their emotions sabotage what they already know. One insult, and they retreat. One failure, and they shrink. One delay, and they declare defeat. But success is not emotional. Success is strategic. It is methodical. It is earned by those who act in alignment with their goals, regardless of how they feel. Emotional discipline is the highest form of intelligence. Learn to feel everything and obey nothing. You can be tired and still train. You can be afraid and still move forward. You can be uncertain and still act. That is power, that is freedom, and that is rare. Rule 4. Eliminate the need for validation. You cannot build a powerful life if your worth is measured by the reactions of others. If every step you take is followed by a glance over your shoulder, waiting for applause, you are not walking, you are performing. And performance is exhausting. It makes you dependent, fragile, easily manipulated. But when you work for your own approval, when your satisfaction is internal, private, untouchable, you become indestructible. You no longer need recognition to be excellent. You no longer need permission to rise. And when you reach that level, people will notice. But by then, you won't need them to. Rule 5. Build a new relationship with pain. Pain is not your enemy. It is your invitation. Every breakthrough is born through discomfort. Every new level of life demands the death of an old version of you. But most people run at the first sign of friction. They confuse discomfort with danger. But the truth is, growth lives on the other side of pain. The pain of discipline, the pain of letting go, the pain of learning, the pain of becoming. You must stop asking, how can I avoid pain? And start asking, what is this pain trying to teach me? Because if you can endure pain without losing your vision, you will gain power no one can steal. Rule 6. Kill the habit of delay. Procrastination is not laziness. It is fear, disguised as logic. You wait for the perfect time. You wait for the right feeling. You wait for clarity. But clarity doesn't come before action. It comes through it. Action is the cure. Motion breeds clarity. Movement births momentum. But most people sit still, paralyzed by questions that only answers can solve. If you want to win, stop thinking so much and start doing. Launch it messy. Start it scared. Write it badly. Build it imperfectly. But do it, because every delay is a betrayal of your future self. And the one thing you will regret on your deathbed is the work you were born to do but never began. Rule 7. Choose identity over motivation. Motivation is fleeting. Identity is foundational. Motivation says, I want to work out. Identity says, I am someone who trains. Motivation says, I want to write. Identity says, I am a writer. Don't just try to change what you do, change who you are. And how do you do that? Repetition, reinforcement, ritual. You don't become disciplined by accident. You become disciplined by repetition. And every time you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you are casting a vote for the identity you want. Enough votes, and it becomes who you are. And when success becomes who you are, it becomes inevitable. These 7 rules are not theory. They are practice. They are tested in the trenches of real life. They are proven in the lives of those who refuse to accept the default, who rose above the noise, who carved out space in a crowded world by becoming undeniable. These rules are not a secret. They're a standard. A standard for those who are ready to stop playing small, stop negotiating with their potential, and start living with precision, discipline, and purpose. And if you are still listening, still standing, still serious, then you already know the greatest barrier to your future is not outside of you. It's the voice inside that keeps whispering, not yet. Silence it, starve it, replace it with work, with wisdom, with repetition. Because once the mind shifts, the man shifts. Once the belief cracks, the world opens. And when you finally remove those mental barriers, there will be nothing left between you and the life that was always waiting. Now go and build it. Not someday, but today. Then let us continue. Let the rhythm deepen, the conviction intensify, and the truth unfold without pause. This is the voice of the man who refuses to stay where he was, and the mirror for the one who knows he was made for more. Every day you wake up, you face one great opponent, not the world, not your boss, not your bills or your background. You face the version of yourself that is okay with staying the same. And make no mistake, that version is clever. It knows your fears. It speaks in your voice. It wears the mask of logic and caution and being realistic. It tells you, you've done enough. It says, don't push too hard. It whispers, it's not the right time. But that voice is not wisdom, it is sabotage. It is the protective instinct of your lesser self, terrified that if you ever rise, it won't survive. And it's right, because if you ever commit fully, if you ever break the mental chains, if you ever stop asking for permission, you will not just improve, you will become unrecognizable. You see, success is not a matter of more information. Most of you know what to do. You've read the books, you've watched the videos, you've made the lists. But knowing is not doing. And transformation is not theory. Transformation is war against distraction, against old patterns, against the self-imposed limits you were taught to defend. You've been taught to protect your pain, to make peace with average, to romanticize your excuses like they're part of your identity. But here's the truth. Nothing about staying the same is noble. Nothing about holding yourself back is humble. Playing small doesn't serve the world. It suffocates your soul. And the longer you delay your rise, the more you normalize your own potential's funeral. You must break out of the loop that says, I'm stuck. No, you are not stuck. You are familiar. Familiar with comfort. familiar with old emotions, familiar with your excuses. But familiarity is not fate. You are one committed decision away from a new reality, one shift in standard, one refusal to tolerate your old limitations. One day where you say, "This ends now." And you follow that with action, not declarations, not affirmations, but real, gritty, quiet, committed, repeated action. That is the beginning of freedom. Because the only thing separating a man who builds an empire from the one who builds excuses is execution. If you want to change your life, change what you demand of yourself. Stop negotiating with laziness. Stop compromising with fear. Stop voting for your old self with every habit, every conversation, every environment that keeps you below your calling. You cannot fly while holding hands with people who are afraid of heights. You cannot grow while clinging to the comforts of a life you've outgrown. And most importantly, you cannot rise if you keep protecting the version of you that would rather be liked than be powerful. Let's be clear. Getting rich isn't just about making money. It's about becoming the kind of person who is too valuable to be ignored. It's about sharpening your skill set until it slices through mediocrity. It's about owning your decisions, your mornings, your time, your word. It's about becoming so grounded in purpose that even failure serves you. Richness is a byproduct of mastery, and mastery is a byproduct of relentless self-honesty. So stop pretending you're doing enough. Stop telling yourself you're trying. You don't try your way into wealth. You train your way into it. You wake up earlier. You read deeper. You move quicker. You remove what doesn't align. And then you repeat that until results have no choice but to show up. You must begin to treat yourself as an asset. An asset that must be protected, developed, invested in. That means setting boundaries that guard your energy. That means studying when others scroll. That means eating clean when others binge. That means training your body, not for vanity, but for stamina. Because your body is not decoration, it is the vehicle of your destiny. That means monitoring your thoughts like a CEO watches a balance sheet. If it drains you, cut it. If it distracts you, silence it. If it dishonors your goals, eliminate it. This is not about being extreme. It's about being serious. And if you're not serious, why are you here? You must understand. Success doesn't come to the man who knocks once. It comes to the one who builds the door, who gets rejected and returns, who fails and studies, who doubts but moves anyway. Success is not a reward, it is a response. A response to discipline, to consistency, to the quiet hours of deep, unsexy work. It's not made in fireworks, it's made in the furnace. So if you're waiting for something to feel right, you're already behind. The elite don't wait for a mood. They build a system, a structure, a rhythm, and then they dance with the discomfort until it becomes home. Stop giving energy to what you can't control. Politics, gossip, drama, resentment, these are luxuries of the undisciplined. When you are focused on building your future, you do not have time to be distracted by the noise of the world. The moment you make growth your obsession, your distractions become obvious. You'll feel them in your gut. You'll know when someone's wasting your time. You'll know when your own habits are betraying you. You'll know when a conversation is feeding your ego but starving your mission. And when that knowing comes, act. Cut it. Change it. Replace it. Not out of anger, but out of reverence for your own future. Let others argue. Let others complain. Let others stay busy being busy. You build. You refine. You upgrade. You get clear on your values and align your entire life to them. You build momentum so powerful it silences the need for motivation. You don't wait for the world to understand. You become so focused, so disciplined, so consistent that your success becomes a language even your doubters learn to speak. You must become unreasonable. Not reckless, but unreasonable. Reasonable men accept what is. Unreasonable men build what should be. Reasonable people say, "It's always been this way." Unreasonable people say, "That ends with me." So if you want an extraordinary life, you must become the kind of person who lives by extraordinary standards. That means saying no more than you say yes. That means doing what's right over what's easy. That means demanding more of yourself than anyone else ever could. And here is the deepest truth. You are allowed to outgrow people. You are allowed to outgrow environments. You are allowed to outgrow beliefs that once protected you, but now imprison you. Growth is not betrayal. Growth is obedience to the voice inside you that knows you were made for more. That voice has been quieted, smothered, silenced by politeness, by fear, by trauma. But it is not dead. It's waiting. Waiting for you to stop negotiating with average. Waiting for you to finally say, enough. When you do, the world will feel it. Doors will open. People will shift. Results will compound. But none of it matters until you do, until you move, until you commit, until you rip out every excuse, every distraction, every false identity and say, this is who I am now. And then you back it up with a work ethic so ferocious, a focus so sharp, and a belief so unshakable that success won't just visit, it will build a home in your name. This is how mental barriers are removed, not with talk, not with theory, but with fire, with standards, with action, and with a refusal to settle for anything less than the full expression of the person you were born to become. Then let it continue without pause, without hesitation, with the full force of truth crashing down upon the soul that dares to rise. The time for negotiation is over. This is the awakening. You were not born for a life of quiet desperation, nodding in agreement to rules you never wrote, living inside a story someone else drafted. You were born to disrupt, to build, to defy. You were born to master yourself so thoroughly that no storm could bend you, no voice could deceive you, no failure could define you. And yet you walk with chains not made of iron but of belief. You carry invisible prisons in your head and call it personality. You protect your suffering as if it's sacred. You argue for your limitations as if they are part of your DNA. But they are not. They are learned. And what is learned can be unlearned. What is accepted can be rejected. What is believed can be broken. You are not weak. You are not stuck. You are simply still loyal to a version of yourself that is afraid of freedom. The man who becomes unstoppable is the one who no longer seeks to be understood. He doesn't ask the world to validate his path. He walks it. He lays brick after brick. He sweats in silence. He speaks less and builds more. Because he knows. You don't need to explain your evolution to those committed to your old identity. You don't need to defend your growth to those addicted to average. You simply rise. Rise so relentlessly, so ruthlessly, so righteously that even your critics become quiet. Not because they agree, but because they can't argue with results. You must become brutal with your time. Every minute you spend entertaining weakness is a minute stolen from your mission. Every conversation you have with people who drain your energy is a tax on your future. Every habit you allow that dulls your edge is a silent betrayal of the person you could be. You must learn to say no with conviction. Not because you're rude, but because your destiny is not up for negotiation. You are not here to keep everyone comfortable. You are here to break cycles, to build empires, to make such radical changes that your entire bloodline benefits from the discipline you chose today. Do not tell me it's hard. I know it's hard. But hard is the cost of freedom. Hard is the price of clarity. Hard is the only road that leads to greatness. You don't get the mountain by walking in the valley. You get the mountain by climbing, by bleeding, by rising when you slip, by dragging yourself up when your body begs you to quit. You don't earn strength without struggle. You don't unlock peace without pressure. And you will never find your true self in a life designed for safety. The truth is this. The man you are becoming lives on the other side of the pain you've been avoiding. Most people think success is about doing more. It's not. It's about becoming more. It's not about a longer to-do list. It's about a higher standard. It's about cutting the nonsense, cutting the self-pity, cutting the lazy language from your lips. Speak like a man who owns his time. Move like a woman who leads her life with purpose. Think like someone who's already wealthy. Because you don't attract wealth with desperation, you attract it with alignment, with certainty, with unshakable belief, backed by undeniable effort. You do not need another course. You do not need another coach. You need a mirror. You need to look at yourself raw, unfiltered, unmasked, and ask, am I really doing the work? Not pretending, not posting, not promising, but doing. Are you organizing your time like a leader? Are you feeding your body like a warrior? Are you speaking your goals like a king? Or are you negotiating with mediocrity behind the curtains of motivational talk? Because when the music stops, when the noise fades, all that matters is the truth. the truth of who you are. And the truth will always show in your results. You've got dreams? Good. But dreams are cheap, dreams are easy, dreams are everywhere. Show me your habits. Show me your calendar. Show me what you do when it's boring, when it's hard, when it's lonely. Show me what you sacrifice. Show me what you protect. Show me what you do when no one's looking. That's where destiny is written, in the invisible places, in the decisions no one sees, in the pain no one applauds, in the hunger no one can fake. And let me tell you something else. Being a better person isn't just about journaling and drinking water. It's about making ruthless decisions that stretch your spirit. It's about confronting your cowardice, about burning the bridges that lead to your old self, about choosing discipline when dopamine tempts you, about becoming the kind of human who leaves every room better than you found it. Not with charm, but with clarity, with strength, with presence, with truth. That's what the world is starving for, not more noise, not more influencers, but more individuals who have faced their inner demons and chosen discipline anyway. It's not about perfection. It's about pursuit. Relentless, unapologetic, focused pursuit of your potential, of your power, of your promise. And yes, you have a promise to fulfill. You weren't born just to consume. You weren't born just to blend in. You were born to contribute, to change something, to leave a mark so deep that your existence echoes long after you're gone. But that only happens if you stop negotiating with fear and start partnering with pain. If you stop praying for ease and start preparing for excellence. If you stop looking for a sign and start becoming one. And so I say again, remove the barriers. Not with hope, with discipline. Not with wishes, with work. Not with soft talk, but with steel resolve. Because the only thing between you and the life that is waiting for you is you. The version of you that hesitates, that settles, that hides, that version must die. So the real one can live. The rare one, the dangerous one, the free one. Then let the final surge begin, not with timid steps, but with the thunder of a soul unleashed. Let it crash through the false ceilings built by fear, and let it echo through every chamber of your potential until no part of you dares return to who you once were. There comes a time when a man must stop planning and start building, when he must stop preparing and start executing, when he must stop trying and start becoming. And that time is not next week, not tomorrow, not when life gets easier. That time is now. Now. When the resistance is loudest. Now. When your past is clinging to you like chains. Now. When the temptation to delay is dressed in logic and coated in comfort. Now is the moment. The only moment. The moment that divides the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the builders, the watchers from the warriors. You are not lost, you are distracted. You are not broken, you are underdeveloped. You are not unlucky, you are undisciplined. And the brutal truth is, your success isn't waiting in the world, it's waiting in your next decision. Not your next big idea, not your next stroke of genius, but your next disciplined choice. The choice to rise early when comfort tells you to sleep. The choice to study when no one is watching. The choice to speak truth when silence is safer. The choice to build when it feels like no one cares. That's the battlefield. That's where victory is forged. The world is not controlled by the talented. It is controlled by the trained, the disciplined, the relentless, the ones who no longer need motivation because they've built momentum, the ones who no longer chase excitement because they've mastered execution, the ones who stopped looking for a path and decided to cut one with their bare hands. You must become that kind of person, and you do it by killing distraction, by falling in love with repetition, by becoming a student of boredom because in boredom lives mastery. Anyone can work when it's new. Only the great work when it's silent. You want confidence? Earn it. You want respect? Build it. You want wealth? Multiply value. You want peace? Practice discipline. Every desire you have is on the other side of your willingness to suffer for it. Not suffer in misery, but suffer in structure, in sacrifice, in strategy, in standards. And when you stop fearing that discomfort, when you begin to welcome it like an ally, you will find that the barrier was never real, it was a curtain, and all you had to do was walk through it. They told you to wait, to be patient, to take it slow. But slow is how you die when your spirit is ready to run. This is not the season for hesitation. This is the season for domination, for narrowing your focus so sharply that nothing escapes it, for building such high internal standards that your external life has no choice but to catch up, for speaking so little and doing so much that your results become a language of their own. This is the season for burning the old rulebook and writing a new one. Not in ink, in blood, in sweat, in motion, in time. And when that moment comes, and it will, when you see that your life no longer fits the narrative you were born into, you will feel it. A stillness, a knowing, not pride, not ego, but peace. A peace that says, I did not escape life. I confronted it. A peace that says, I did not beg for change. I became it. A peace that says, I paid the price. I made the climb. I did the work. And now I wear the crown. Not for the world to see, but for myself to know. That is what this journey is about. Not wealth for display, but wealth for power, for choice, for freedom, for contribution. The kind of wealth that isn't loud, but lasting. The kind of wealth that builds schools, that breaks generational curses, that pays it forward, that creates ripple effects long after your name is forgotten. That kind of wealth is built when you remove every mental barrier that has ever told you to sit down, be quiet, blend in, or wait your turn. You don't need permission. You don't need applause. You need resolve. You need the fire to rise at dawn, the hunger to outlast failure, the patience to build while others rush, and the discipline to do it all again tomorrow. So rise. And when the doubt creeps in, smile. Because that doubt is the signal that you're finally pushing beyond the old boundary. Rise again. And when it hurts, keep moving. Because that pain is the sign of your former self breaking apart. Rise again. And when the voices say you'll never make it, drown them out with action. Loud, relentless, disciplined action. You are the answer to your own prayers. You are the warrior your ancestors dreamed of. You are the storm they feared and the light they hoped would come. Don't squander that fire. Don't apologize for that force. Sharpen it, hone it, and let it burn through every falsehood that has ever held you back. You have one job now, one mission, one oath to keep. Remove the barriers, unleash the work, and never look back. Because the moment you truly begin, success begins to chase you. Wealth begins to follow you. Legacy begins to form behind you. And the world will have no choice but to rise to meet the standard you became. Now go become it.